What's going on, YouTube? This is Jim, and today I want to talk to you guys about Battlefield 1. The open beta is finally upon us, and I finally got to spend some time playing through the game. As you guys may or may not know, I am a lifelong Battlefield fan, stemming back to my love of the original Battlefield 1942. I spent a significant amount of time with Battlefield 3, about 200 or so hours on Battlefield 4, and here we are now ready for Battlefield 1, which is a little bit of a weird naming convention, but it's not Battlefield 5, and I'm kind of glad that they renamed it because it is a complete rework of everything that you know about Battlefield while maintaining important aspects of the gameplay. So first and foremost, let's talk about the overall package, the UI, the experience when you're not in the game, and it looks incredible. Definitely heavily borrowed upon the Star Wars Battlefront interface. It's very sleek. It's very simple. At first, you'll think there aren't enough options. It's very like, play a multiplayer game, play this server browser. But there is enough in there to customize everything you need to do. I am playing it on PC, so I was able to tune all my video settings, all my sound settings, everything I want to my heart's desire. I could even have the narrator be a guy or a girl. Which is kind of interesting. I don't remember seeing that mode before, but okay, sure, why not? So that was actually really cool. So if you're familiar with that kind of very sleek interface, I think you'll really appreciate what this game shows just from an overall perspective package. But let's be honest, you're going to spend a very minimal amount of time in the menu option. You're going to be playing the game, and that's where I want to focus the majority of my discussion today. Now, it is in a beta. The game does come out October 21st, I want to say. It's kind of mid-October. So there are some time to fix some things if that's the route they want to take. So there are going to be some weird graphical bugs. There are going to be some weird polishing issues, server issues, connecting to your friend issues, whatever. I will admit, in the 10 or so hours I have now participated in the beta, only one time was I disconnected and had a hard time and actually had to close the whole application and reopen it. And that's not too bad, especially from a Battlefield game, which is unfortunate that it's earned that moniker. But you know what? It really has, because you have to take a look at how bad some of these old Battlefield launches were, particularly Battlefield 4, which was unplayable for weeks at a time due to some really weird netcode or whatever nonsensical issue they had for the day. But that has largely been resolved. And I have to say, in terms of betas or alphas, whatever, in terms of that, this is actually remarkably well polished, pretty much ready to go. There are some balancing issues. I'll get into those in a minute. But the stability is there, and it's great because you want to be in this game. It's really a lot of fun. It takes place in World War I, although it's kind of a hybrid version. Some of the weaponry isn't exactly like it was back in World War I. The beta takes place out in some desert, so you're going to see a lot of rocks and mountains, very similar to like Tatooine. And I laugh because for a while it really brought back memories of that Star Wars Battlefront beta. I'm like, are we doing this again? But it is different enough. But yeah, it's gorgeous. Lighting effects, smoke effects, shadow effects, sound effects, everything you expect in a proper Battlefield game is here, and it's here in spades. Now, there is one issue that's going around, and it's pretty darn glaring, although I do feel it has to be some sort of bug, and that is that right now all the special effects in terms of like climate, whether it's raining, whether it's dusty, whether it's whatever the visibility is, it's all client based. So in other words, there's a video, I saw it on Reddit, of two people playing together side by side. It's very clearly them at the same time. One guy, he's bright, it's sunny, it's shiny. The other guy is in the middle of a sandstorm, which does impair your vision. The sound does whip up. It's harder to hear gunshots at distance. It's harder to see muzzle fire at distance. So it's extremely, extremely immersive, which is amazing. That's what we want, right? But the other guy didn't have that. And let me tell you, that is a major competitive disadvantage to the guy that did. Now, I love all that stuff turned up, and I'm not one of those people who's willing to sacrifice gameplay performance in terms of my kill-death ratios for gameplay experience. Other people do. I've seen this happen numerous times. A lot of the pros on Counter-Strike and that sort of thing will dope everything down as low as they can so that only player models pop up more vibrant than anything else. I'm not about that. I want to get the most realistic experience I can get. I don't mind if that means that I can't see as well as some other players, but I want it to be on equal footing. And that gets difficult, particularly in the computer world, because it is going to be imbalanced, because somebody who has a 1060 or a 1080 is going to be able to run the game significantly better than somebody who's running it on like a 560 or a 660. That's just the way it is. And most games have had a pretty good success with this, so I don't really see this being an issue, but it is right now, and I'm sure it will be resolved in due time. Sound effects are amazing. They sound exactly the way you think they should. The clinking of the guns, the grenades, your AI team or your teammates automatically reloading, taking cover, whatever, automatically kind of giving you an update to what they're doing. Airplanes whooshing by, dropping bombs, all that sort of stuff. It's there. It works amazingly well. Not much in the way of weapon customization yet. I don't know what we expect in a beta. I'm sure they will have a plethora of weapon upgrade options, just like they did in Battlefield 4. Right now, you just select the gun. You can't select the sights. You can't select the scope. You can't select the color, any of that stuff. I would be shocked if they did not include that in the final release, but as of right now in the beta, it does not exist. You just get the stock variant of each weapon class, and that is all you get. There is a little balancing issue I mentioned earlier right now with vehicles. Right now, the only way to really destroy a vehicle is via anti-vehicle hand grenade, which is this giant grenade that the assault class carries. That's the only way to take out a tank, as far as I can tell. And the grenade only does 20 damage, as the tank has 100 health. So it takes 5 of these grenades to blow it up. First of all, no character has 5 grenades at their access. Number 2, there's no real ranged way. If you think back to the original Battlefields where you had bazookas and you had other ways to destroy vehicles at range. In this mode, you do not. And right now, people who get in the tanks are pretty much gods. That's just kind of the way it is right now. And I'm sure that will be fixed. But it is worth mentioning that did kind of hamper the gameplay is, oh, here comes a guy in a tank. I guess we can't have fun anymore. Cavalry is really a lot of fun, getting to ride around on a horse. You get the sword. There's a gun train. I did not see the Zeppelin. I don't believe it is in this experience, but the gun train is around. You can get on that. It's just a giant armored train full of guns. They have Jeeps with 50 cal variants on the back, and then they have like kind of an in-between that's like a semi-armored, semi-powerful vehicle. You have airplanes that are just the biplane fighters. You have airplanes that drop bombs, so they're bomber variants. Really, really cool. Really a lot of fun. I can't say enough good things about this. I was kind of on the fence with Battlefield 1. I'd heard the press. I saw that horrendous E3 debut a couple months ago when they had all these celebrities talking about the game and they were playing horribly. The gameplay did not look that exciting to me. It did not look that fun to me. At least on my setup with the graphics I have, I was so surrounded by the universe. I loved it so much. And one thing that they do that they didn't do very much in Battlefield 4, although to a slight bit, but it's turned up to 10 in this point, is in the multiplayer experiences, there's a lot more sound effects going on in the background. I'm sorry, not sound effects, background music going on. And I know Battlefield 1 had the dun-dun-dun-dun-dun background, like right as you got close to the end, like, uh-oh, we're about to win the game. I found in Battlefield 1 there was a more steady pace of music in the background. Now, you could turn it off and be a purist and just enjoy the sounds of the artillery fire and the grenades and the explosions and that sort of thing. But I felt that the music did kind of add a sense of ambience to the world, and it did kind of round out the experience, and I actually did like having it on. It was a little harder to hear my friends in Teams speak, but that's okay. I think, again, you have to kind of find where your balance is for where you want to be. So I'm really excited for this game. This was one that I did not initially pre-order. There were some really goofy collector's editions going around. They had some collector's editions that didn't even have the game, like on Amazon, which was really goofy. I don't care about the statues in this one, not because I don't love collector's editions still, but it's just some random protagonist. So I'm definitely going to be picking up this game based on this beta. I'm going to go ahead and pre-order it at Best Buy right now as soon as I get done publishing this video. Getting the Gamers Club unlocked and the discount, it's going to be about $38, $39. Not bad. I think for an experience like this, it's going to be good. There are some concerns about replayability. There are concerns about player depth and that sort of thing. Maybe, I don't know. I don't think anyone has a basis to say right now. Every Battlefield game to me has had the level of depth that I wanted. Clearly, they're taking a different approach with a more simplistic interface. I don't necessarily think that's going to translate into a more simplistic gameplay experience. I think it's just going to be easier to navigate things. And let's face it, the menus in Battlefield 4 when customizing a gun or selecting what kind of armaments you want on your tank were a little bit clumsy, and they did take a little bit of time to kind of maneuver. This seems to be removed. Server stability is great. I'm not clipping through walls. I'm not clipping through the floor. So, hey, a successful beta launch for these guys. And I think it's well-deserved, and I wanted to just give a shout-out to those guys and say, you know what? For once, you actually did a really good job. You should kind of sort of be proud of yourself, even though that's what I think we should expect. But we've had such horrendous launches with Battlefield. Oh, the most important thing before I go, I just thought about this. There are no more battle logs, no more using your browser to launch games. Everything is in-game, which is great. No more downloading plugins, no more Chrome extensions being canceled out and having to go back to Internet Explorer. No more clicking on the game and it's not loading the executable. That is all removed. It is all in-game, one single executable. Very simple way to find servers, very simple way to do filters on whatever you want, invite your friends, make a party, make a squad, get out there and have fun. And I love that. So even better news. So for everybody who hated that, like me, it's gone. Now, I assume they're still going to have some sort of ancillary page later on to get data, but most games do that. HotSlogs does that. World of Warcraft does that. Halo does that, where you can get all your stats, bullets, fire, that sort of thing. It's not going to be embedded in the game like it was before, and I think that's fine too. So there you have it. My thoughts on Battlefield 1. As you can tell, I'm really, really excited of this game. There are a few bugs that need to be worked out, but that's okay. Nothing's perfect except for this YouTube channel. So thank you guys so much for watching. Enjoy your long holiday weekend. Be safe. And until next time, I will see you guys on the other side.